Hello, and welcome to A Watchman's Journal. I'm Diana Larkin. This video is a special report. I've often noticed that there are themes that run through many of the journal entries. And so I decided that we would check out the theme of suddenly. I was quite surprised when I searched my journal entries and found 144 journal entries that mentioned suddenly. Suddenly in regard to a rescue operation, a judgment coming, a quick wrap-up of things. And since I think you probably don't have 2 hours to listen to 144 entries, I condensed them down and kind of arranged them in some categories. I will just share a little sentence or two from probably about, I think it was about 60 entries I ended up with, but will just be very short readings of those. Interestingly enough, I looked up what does 144 mean in far as biblical numbers are concerned, and it is God's ultimate creation and redemption. It is a spirit-guided life. Woo, I really like that. That's what he's doing for us and moving us into. So, this special report, suddenly. The first category we're going to talk about is water. And the very first entry that I found from my journal with the word suddenly in it was about a dam break, and it was September 30th of 2019. He began to mention to us suddenly. I am working mightily behind the scenes, and then suddenly the dam will break and an avalanche of information and arrests will pour out. Wow. That's pretty cool that he told us all the way back then that that was going to happen. And of course, I thought it would be the next month, but God's ways and timing are not our ways and timing. But he has been steadfast to keep repeating this theme to us so that we know that it is coming. We have a waterfall on November 7th of 2019. This trickle of disclosures will suddenly gain momentum and become a river of information. This river will suddenly reach a cliff, and the disclosures will become a roaring, uncontainable, unstoppable revelation of dark schemes, corrupt behavior, and depraved actions against children and adults. We have the category of rain, and he also spelled it in parentheses, REIGN. April 26th of 2021. Suddenly the rain of my kingdom will fall, and the wicked will be consumed by it, and the righteous will be blessed by it. I keep my promises. There's a river mentioned in May 14th of 2021. This river will appear suddenly and forcefully, and no one will be able to stop it. We have the voice of many waters on August 1st of 2022. My voice of many waters will come suddenly, and its thunderous power will wipe out all the dark power structures and uncover all the evil schemes and hiding places. Next category is the hammer of truth, meaning justice. October 3rd of 2019, suddenly all will be revealed, and my hammer of justice will fall on the small and on the great who dared to defy me and who worshipped idols of greed, power, and the shedding of innocent blood. May 17th of 2021. It is my hammer of truth and justice which is poised to strike, and it will suddenly bring down many in leadership roles. The next category is tipping point. I had one entry for this, January 4th of 2020. All the evil they planned and plotted against your president and ultimately against the people of your nation will suddenly reach a tipping point, and it will come crashing down on their heads. Next category, acceleration. And that is actually a dream that I had on January 6th of 2020. This dream involved me in a pickup truck, and in the last scene of the dream, I'm parked. And suddenly, the truck starts moving on its own, and it rockets up in a steep climb in the sky. I woke myself up calling, Jesus! I could still feel that steep climb, the surge of adrenaline, and my absolute powerlessness to do anything to stop this acceleration. What the Father said to me about this dream: put on your seatbelt, because acceleration is about to begin in your life and in the life of your nation. This will happen suddenly and with such force that you will catch your breath in surprise. The waiting will be over, and now you must adjust to this new reality of swiftly moving beyond your ability to control or stop. You have trusted me in the waiting and the stillness. Can you now trust me as events happen, rapid fire, one on top of another? This will be the ride of your life. I've saved the best for life last, so enjoy. It is going to be an adjustment because we've been waiting, and things are going to accelerate, I think, way beyond our ability to imagine. The next category is opening of what is hidden. Curtain pulled back on January 28th of 2020. The curtain will suddenly be pulled back, and they will all be exposed with no place to turn, no place to hide, no way to escape the justice that will follow their uncovering. Doors flung wide, March 14th of 2021. Suddenly you will see avenues opened up again, doors flung wide open, and courage and confession on display. And I believe that will involve whistleblowers as well. Then we have Rip the Covers Off on July 22nd of 2021. Don't panic, don't fear, just stand strong in me and watch as I suddenly rip the covers off all the dark agendas and off all of the people who are of darkened, deceitful hearts. The next category is turns. Turn around, March 1st of 2020. Every scheme of the enemy in this desperate storm tactic to cause chaos and cause your president and your nation to fall will suddenly experience a dramatic turnaround, and peace and prosperity will take its place. That's a beautiful thing to look forward to. May 1st of 2020, your economy and your freedom were suddenly taken from you, but I am able to suddenly restore your economy and freedom in a great turnaround. Turn a leaf. September 3rd of 2021. I will turn the leaf. I will change the page suddenly, and with a great display of my power and great awe and rejoicing will come to your land. Then we have the script flipped. September 15th of 2021. This was a dream. I had it at 2:22. Well, that caught my attention. I watched as the Father flipped the script on what was said about DJT and number 46. DJT became the one with the victory. So the interpretation is a sudden revealing of which script has been speaking the truth. Victory will be given to the rightful one. Tables turned, February 22nd of 2022. That is a whole lot of twos in there too. How did the tables get suddenly turned on them? How did they go from being the powerful hunters to the ones now being hunted by a forceful power that strikes terror in their hearts? I like those tables being suddenly turned. We have a stepped in on September 3rd of 2022. Of course, you will especially enjoy the climax when I suddenly stepped in and rescued your land and the whole world changed. Next category is open up. Break apart. On May 12th of 2020, I will come suddenly to break apart and destroy the fortresses of evil. Cut short. September 14th of 2020. Their power and their reign will suddenly be cut short, and the recompense due from them will be collected as the wealth of wickedness is turned over to the righteous. So we have that theme of the wealth, their wealth being turned over to the righteous. Pull down. January 12th of 2021. Stand with me and watch as I suddenly pull down his dark power structure, and all the corruption and perversion of those who have partnered with him will be exposed. Clouds break open. November 15th of 2021. When my cloud descends, it will suddenly break open, and the penetrating light of my glory will suddenly burst forth. My glory light will expose all the corruption and backroom deals, and the world will see the darkness of those who have taken power. Plow. July 9th of 2022. Suddenly and without warning, I will plow through the wicked, and the hooves of my war horses will trample and scatter all the proud who refused to get out of my way and who chose to oppose my plans and purposes. Dissolve. On July 12th of 2022, suddenly they will dissolve like a concrete wall, collapsing into a pile of sand. Collapse. July 14th of 2022. The defenses the wicked worked for years to build around their darkened lives will suddenly collapse as I unleash my righteous and true judgments. Launch. July 5th of 2022. When I launch my attack, it will be suddenly with no warning. The dark prey will scream with terror as the lion of light strikes with deadly intent. Our next category is light. Searching. A searching light. March 24th of 2020, shockwaves will roll across your land as people's eyes are suddenly opened, and the enemy's spell of lies and delusion over them is broken by the power of my searching light of discovery. Laser focused. July 16th of 2020. Suddenly, my light will laser focus on them, and they will be exposed in all the evil they have done and are doing. Firework. July 4th of 2021. My firework will be launched suddenly, and there will be no time to hide from the burst of bright light. Visible. November 21st of 2021. The people's real enemy will suddenly be made visible, and they will stop fighting each other and instead join together as brothers. Exposed light from December 26th of 2021. I'm sending my host to bring the light to bring to the light all that has been hidden in closets and caves. I am sending them to unearth what has been buried oh so carefully, but will suddenly be easily exposed as the host dig it up and put it on display. A glory fire. June 11th of 2022. I will suddenly blaze on my glory fire, propelled by my spirit wind and my mighty heavenly host in ranks behind me. We will swoop in to save your nation from the evil that sought to destroy you. The blinding light of my glorious exposure will uncover all darkness and all the hiding places of evil, and they will scream with terror as my light shows the world who they truly are and all the evil deeds they have done. Then we have a spotlight on August 20th of 2022. Suddenly, a spotlight will turn on them and they will be caught with their hand in the cookie jar. Next category is judgment. The first is trials. October 16th of 2020, I had a dream. Trials for treason and lying. Last night, I dreamed I heard voices of men and angels telling me to listen to the words being spoken. These were the words: without warning of any kind, trials will begin for treason and lying. The interpretation of this dream, it's an assurance that prophetic words from heaven, given through men and angels, that suddenly no more warnings will be given the ungodly. Trials will begin for traitors and liars. Wow. Judgment Day, April 5th of 2022. I'm telling you that their judgment day will suddenly appear, and it will be too late for them to avoid judgment and justice. Then we have wrath and anger, May 20th of 2022. My wrath and anger will fall suddenly. Very serious. Next category, trap or traps. Trapped is March 17th of 2021. They will suddenly find themselves caught, trapped, with no way of escape. A trap that springs, March 26th of 2022. The trap they laid for you will suddenly spring back on them, because my ways are higher. Next category is resurrection, April 3rd of 2021. I've given many dreams, visions, and spoken through my prophetic people so that you would know I am moving behind the scenes and that suddenly it will come forth into the light, even as Jesus burst out of the darkness of the tomb into resurrection life. December 18th of 2021. But suddenly, the resurrection power burst open the grave and shattered the power of death forevermore. What looked like the greatest defeat was actually the greatest victory of all eternity. Use this spiritual lens to view your present day dilemma of a nation taken by darkness and the destiny of my chosen leader seemingly cut off and buried. Who is the God of resurrection power? Who is the God of life and fulfillment? I am. Look to me. Trust my timing. Next category is sounds. We have the sound of a holy fire from June 4th of 2021. Even some of the wicked will hear the sound of my holy fire coming like a mighty rushing wind or a huge crash of thunder. It will come suddenly, and there will be no escape for the wicked for whom it will mean destruction, and there will be no way to hide from it. A ripe fig dropping on June 30th of 2021. My plans to deal with the dark schemes and hidden perverted lies and agendas of those partnered with evil is like a fully ripe fig that is ready to fall from the tree. This fig is so ripe that when it falls, it will cause a mighty splat and fruit will spread far and wide. Can you hear that sound? This is the fruit of my promised exposures and justice. Your prayers, your decrees, your worship have brought this fig to maturity, and I am ready to let it drop suddenly upon the world. The sound of a roar, September 12th of 2022. And this is the most recent journal entry that he mentioned suddenly, so just a few days ago. That growl will soon erupt in a huge roar that will split the atmosphere, opening a huge portal, and suddenly heaven's light and power will pour forth on your nation, and everything of darkness will fall and be exposed in the power of that roar. Next category is gone. So the first one is shrink. August 12th of 2021. If I release my roar against this giant blowfish, which is what he said the enemy is like, a big puffed up blowfish, it will suddenly shrink to the size of a cheap plastic toy. Threats gone. March 31st of 2022. As the threats of darkness get louder and more intense, I want you to know that you will see them growing, and then suddenly gone. I like that. Defiance, lies, stopped. June 27th of 2022. Their arrogance, their open defiance of me, their serpent tongues that continually lie will quite suddenly be stopped. Some, even in mid-sentence of one of their lying speeches, by my surprise rescue operation. See them no more. September 10th of 2022. Don't lose heart as you hear their boasting voices and witness their desperate and obvious power grabs, because quite suddenly you will see them no more. Fulfillment, July 6th of 2021. Suddenly you will look up and see that my promises have been fulfilled. Ah, I like that. The next category is House of Cards falling or Giants falling. August 16th of 2021. They will not know at first what hit them as I suddenly push over their house of cards, but as they look at its ruins, they will realize it was my mighty sovereign hand that has struck down all the evil and darkness they had built their lives upon. December 14th of 2021. Talk about cockroaches scurrying for cover. You're going to see this happen to the elite and arrogant ones when their house of cards is suddenly brought down. January 25th of 2022. My army is also shining light from the outside into these giant strongholds. You may not see it with your natural eyes, but these giants have been weakened, and they will fall suddenly, and they will not rise again. Pieces line up is our next category. December 20th of 2021. You will watch and see when all the pieces suddenly line up. And I kind of thought of a chess game. They will drop into place, the complete truth is revealed, and a reformation is released to turn your land from dark to light. Let's see where we are here. We've got a category called blowing, and this is our last category. How about blow back? February 7th of 2022. Do not be frustrated with those sold out to darkness when you see their positions of power and their great wealth, because these things will be taken from them suddenly as my reckoning falls upon them. A power breath of March 14th of 2022. In the end, this powerful enemy was easily and suddenly vanquished by the power of my right arm and the breath of my spirit. Powerful, powerful breath. Blow wide open from September 1st of 2022. They are once again sadly mistaken. He's speaking of those with darkened hearts. And they will be pursuing their evil ways full tilt when suddenly it will all blow wide open. All their hiding places, all their corruption, all their dark and deadly schemes will be right there on display for the whole world to see. Their selfish, greedy world will come crashing down in a day. And that is a theme through all these suddenlies. It is like the changes that will come in a day. We can look forward to that. 144 times he's told us he's coming suddenly. And he's given us a variety of word pictures to see that suddenly, like his breath, his light, breaking things open, giants falling. So I think we've been given so many examples because he does not want the enemy to pinpoint or know exactly how this suddenly is going to come. So it is a mystery that we will see with our eyes. I have not heard one prophetic voice say they know what the suddenly will be, when it will come, or how it will happen. And that is very telling because usually the Father shares with us as much as we need to know, and that will keep us encouraged. So this is a hidden plan that is going to shock both the darkness and the light. But it is going to have the result of our freedoms returning, righteousness and justice once more being established in our nation, and from our nation out into the world, a light shining in the darkness. Father, thank you so much for these amazing words about suddenly. We receive them, we believe them, and we look forward with great anticipation to you fulfilling this suddenly when our nation is changed in a day and our hearts will rejoice in vindication and fulfillment, recompense and reward that will come to your hand for those of us who have stood in faith and partnered with you. Thank you so much for joining me for this special report of Suddenly. Be blessed.